The courtroom was silent except for the faint rustle of papers and the low, mechanical hum of the air conditioning. It was the kind of silence that presses against your chest, heavy and inescapable. Inside that stillness, tension lingered like a storm waiting for permission to break. Iman Shumpert, a man long associated with control, discipline, and composure, sat frozen in his seat as the judge's final words echoed in his ears. The ruling was clear. The decision was firm. He had lost the child support battle. For most people, a legal loss is painful enough. But for someone whose life has unfolded under constant public scrutiny, this moment cut deeper than finances or paperwork. It struck at something far more personal: his pride, his identity, and his sense of himself as a father. Those watching closely could see it written all over his face. The confidence people had come to expect from Iman faltered, replaced by something rarely seen in public from him: raw, unfiltered vulnerability. Live streams, courthouse footage, and quick clips captured fleeting expressions that told a much bigger story. A tightened jaw, eyes clouded with disbelief, a posture that seemed heavier than when he arrived. Fans who had followed his career for years were stunned. This was not the Iman Shumpert they were used to seeing. This was not the calm, controlled figure who navigated fame with ease. This was a man absorbing a blow he hadn't prepared himself to take. Outside the courtroom, whispers began almost immediately. Conversations erupted in hushed tones among reporters, spectators, and court staff. Within minutes, social media filled the gap left by unanswered questions. Fans flooded timelines, dissecting every detail of his body language and every subtle shift in his expression. Some saw pain. Others saw frustration. A few interpreted it as disbelief that the outcome hadn't aligned with his expectations. The reactions were deeply divided. Many people expressed sympathy, acknowledging how difficult it must be to navigate fatherhood under public scrutiny. They pointed out the emotional weight that comes with child support cases, especially when they involve high-profile individuals whose parenting is constantly judged by strangers. These supporters emphasized that legal decisions don't always reflect emotional investment or effort, and that losing in court doesn't automatically mean failing as a parent. Others were less forgiving. Critics argued that someone in Iman's position should have maintained composure, especially with cameras watching. They labeled the visible emotion as weakness, suggesting that public figures have a responsibility to appear unshaken, no matter the circumstances. But that perspective overlooked a crucial truth. What unfolded in that courtroom was not weakness. It was humanity. Iman Shumpert's life has always existed beneath a microscope. From his athletic career to his fashion choices to carefully curated glimpses of his family life, every aspect has been examined, praised, and criticized. Over the years, he built an image of a thoughtful, involved father, someone who could balance fame, responsibility, and emotional presence without letting pressure spill into public view. That image had held firm for a long time. But in that moment, under the weight of the court's decision, the image cracked. The loss wasn't simply about money. Child support rulings may be financial on paper, but emotionally, they carry enormous weight. They speak to responsibility, provision, and the well-being of a child. Iman reportedly entered the courtroom believing he had a strong case. He came prepared with documents, testimonies, and the confidence that he had consistently shown up as a loving and responsible parent. When the ruling went against him, it felt like more than a rejection of his argument. It felt like a judgment of his efforts. In the eyes of the law, what he presented wasn't enough. That realization landed hard. Sources and observers noted the immediate aftermath. His hands reportedly trembled slightly as he gathered his documents, a small, almost imperceptible detail that spoke volumes. His usual stoic mask slipped just enough to reveal the storm beneath the surface. His eyes darted. His jaw tightened. A deep sigh escaped him, heavy with disappointment, as he stood and walked toward the courthouse lobby. That walk was not quiet. Cameras flashed. Reporters called out questions. The pressure intensified. For a man used to controlling his narrative, the sensation of exposure was jarring. This wasn't a carefully managed interview or a red carpet moment. This was real, and it was happening in real time. Online, the reaction was instant. Clips of Iman's reaction spread rapidly across platforms. Hashtags began trending. Memes appeared within hours. comment sections filled with debates that ranged from compassionate to harsh. Some viewers expressed sorrow, emphasizing how difficult it must be to process such a ruling in public. Others were quick to judge, insisting that emotional control should never falter, regardless of circumstance. The polarized response revealed something deeper about society's relationship with male vulnerability. People are fascinated by it, yet often uncomfortable when it appears. In Iman's case, his emotional reaction became a lens through which fans examine not just him, but their own beliefs about strength, masculinity, and control. Behind the scenes, the emotional toll was reportedly even heavier. Family members and close friends described hours of reflection, quiet conversations, and moments of silence that spoke louder than words. Iman reportedly replayed the courtroom scene in his mind, grappling with a sense of helplessness that few had ever seen from him before. His reaction wasn't defined by anger alone. It was a complex mix of disappointment, frustration, grief, and self-doubt. Losing control in that moment was paradoxical. It revealed both how deeply the situation mattered to him and how high the stakes truly were. This wasn't just a legal battle. It was an emotional reckoning with what it meant to be a father under relentless scrutiny. The other party in the case reportedly experienced her own mix of emotions. While the ruling favored her legally, it also highlighted the fragile emotional dynamics involved in co-parenting under public pressure. Sources close to both sides suggested that moments of tension and difficult conversations occurred away from the cameras, moments that revealed love, concern, and frustration centered around their child's well-being. Those moments never made headlines, but they mattered. For Iman, the intersection of legal obligation and public exposure amplified the stress of the defeat. It reinforced how deeply intertwined his personal and public lives had become. Fans were quick to judge from a distance, but few could see the sleepless nights, the private tears, or the internal reckoning that followed. His struggle underscored a universal truth. Even the strongest, most composed individuals are human, and when a situation challenges the core of who they are, emotional reactions are inevitable. The child support ruling became more than a legal outcome. It became symbolic, a reckoning with responsibility, love, and identity. It forced Iman to confront aspects of himself and his life that he may have hoped to keep private. In doing so, he inadvertently became a mirror for anyone who has faced unexpected setbacks while trying to hold themselves together under pressure. Social media only amplified the moment. Influencers and commentators weighed in, analyzing body language, tone, and emotional cues. The narrative expanded beyond the courtroom, evolving into broader debates about parenting, masculinity, and emotional expression. A legal ruling transformed into a cultural conversation. Despite the chaos, those closest to Iman emphasized one consistent truth. His focus on his child never wavered. Beneath the visible emotion was a clear commitment to fatherhood. Every reaction, even the emotional outburst, was rooted in concern for his child's welfare and a desire to navigate a complicated situation responsibly. That distinction matters. Emotional expression does not equal irresponsibility. In this case, it underscored how much was at stake. Legal experts noted that such rulings are not always the end of the road. Appeals, modifications, and renegotiations are common, particularly in high-profile cases. For Iman, this represents both a challenge and an opportunity. Moving forward will require balancing emotional well-being, public perception, and legal strategy. No easy task when every step is observed. Ultimately, Iman Shumpert'S courtroom breakdown became more than a viral moment. It revealed the vulnerability behind a carefully maintained public image. Fans witnessed a man confronting personal disappointment, fatherhood, and emotional truth all at once. Some praised his honesty, others questioned his composure, but everyone saw the same thing. A man unfiltered, human, and profoundly real. A reminder that even those who appear unshakable can falter, reflect, and continue forward.